Huh?
Plant-powered travel? Oh shit.
No funciona. And it's kind of...
Travel.
But you say it with like in English accent. Plants. I said plant-powered travel.
Plant-powered travel.
Hello everyone, it's seekingjess and I'm here with Dan from Plant-Powered Travel. I always say it wrong. As you do my name as well, right? You never remember my name.
No.
What is it?
It's seekingjess.
10 points. Yay! Would you like to introduce yourself?
Cool. So yeah, I'm Dan. I have been traveling around the world, just exploring the universe, trying to find, what's good to do in the world and how to be happy all the time and be good for this planet and do good things. And so yeah.
So much better than my intro for sure.
You have to go back to the other intro. We were going to delete it before, but it's natural.
All right. Well then, tell us what are you doing from day to day?
Cool. So day to day, it's very, very spontaneous. I'm just trying to find more and more ways how I can save us all from extinction, I guess. No, but so I started an organization called Pure Clean Earth. So every day we're just finding new ways on how we can clean up the oceans, we can inspire people to live more sustainably, and connect communities and public and authorities and councils all together so that we all have the same interests and we are sharing these ideas and growing these ideas rather than just being split up and blaming each other in a sense.
And when did you start?
So it was April this year, started here in Barcelona. It all started, went to the beach, didn't have much time off work, had about 2 or 3 months of just constant work, managing some hostels, didn't have any time off, went to the beach. It was disgusting when I arrived, just full of trash and plastic and things everywhere on the floor. So in that moment, I just got my bag out of my plastic. It was a plastic bag that I had in my bag, just got it out, started picking up all of the rubbish that I could find. And once I filled that up, I went to the bin, put it in the bin, turned around, I was like, I swear I just picked up some rubbish. Basically, it felt like I just didn't do anything. And it was at that moment I cut my time short at the beach, went home. A couple of days later I said, we should do something about that plastic on the beach. I'm going to start an event. Started an event. Luckily managed to get 5 or 6 people to come along to the event. Had a good time. We all went around together, high fives, picking up rubbish. My mum was very proud to hear that I was picking up rubbish off the floor.
So cute.
She was like, why didn't you do that in your room? And yeah, it went really well. So did another event the week after. More people came, so we're looking like maybe 8, 9 people now. It's cool, we're all going. After 2 or 3 more weeks, we're getting a few more people come, and then I realized we can do something with this. Maybe we can make a difference. And so at first it all started of just cleaning up the plastic and rubbish to the point of okay, so we need to think what are we doing? Are we cleaning anything up? How can we turn this into educational? What are the alternatives and where can we go? And that's where it led to where we are now.
How many people are you now total?
Well, so the events, we're looking at 30 to 40 people every single event. We run 2 events every single week, Saturday and Sundays. Saturdays in the beach town called Sitges, Sundays here in Barcelona. But between our groups, we've created a network where we've got between 5,000 to 3,000 people actively getting involved with things. So yeah, it's grown a lot. We've got, maybe 5 or 6 people on the team who are working hard, part-time, full-time, dedicating. We're all volunteers, none of us get paid. We're just, fighting for this beautiful change that we know is very much needed right now. So yeah.
So are you still working at the other job you were mentioning?
No. So at that point, after a few weeks, I quit my job. After I cleared up the beach the first time and started the event, so I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna quit my job. This is much more important than running a reception. So I quit my job. I stayed for another 3 or 4 weeks, but building it up so that once I quit, I know what I'm doing, and now I'm, kind of homeless, traveling around, sleeping on people's sofas, and cleaning up beaches and
exciting life, no?
Talking to people about plastic.
Okay, well, I know it myself is I'm trying to reduce my plastic consumption as much as I can, but sometimes it's very, very tough. It's just when I go shopping, and I always try to take like my, my bag, or not a plastic bag, or a bag that I can reuse a lot. And I kind of have it from home. Like my mom always taught me, don't always get a new plastic bag, but just use, the same bag every time. So I was always doing that, but I realized lately, like, how much plastic I'm actually producing. And even though I'm vegan and trying to, reduce waste, like, do you have any tips for people that can, when they want to consume less waste, like if you say it like that, what can they do? What would be the first steps?
I think you mentioned it really well there. I think you first need to actually find a way to help yourself realize the amount that you actually created, because we all know we're creating waste, but to see and physically hold the waste, for example, you could run a test and count, keep everything that you collect for a whole week in your house. Don't throw anything out, just box it all up and put it into different bags for one whole week, and then look at everything that you've created for a whole week, and then maybe do a bit of research, or come and contact me, and I'll tell you that probably 90 to 95% of that will end up in landfills and end up bumping into animals and causing some very serious problems. Once you realize once you're conscious about the problem that you are, directly causing, and understanding then that you can make some alternatives, some very quick and easy alternatives to reduce that a lot, step by step, reducing it a lot to almost nothing, you can take away all of that damage that you've just realized that's happening. So although it may seem very negative to start with, like, I'm causing a lot of damage, don't worry, because we've got alternatives for it. We're our solutions. We can reduce all of that, and we can see the changes we make over the course of a few years, with hundreds and hundreds of people getting involved with that. So realization of it is the step one. Once you realize what you're doing, you can then look into, wow, how do I get rid of this and this item and this item? Because most of it's going into the oceans right now.
So what would you say is, I go to a regular supermarket, right? And I go and buy, for example, organic fruits and vegetables, and they're packed in plastic because it's a cheaper alternative for me.
Yeah.
What could I do in that, in that sense, to reduce the plastic that I'm...
Yeah. So there are many different locations, like farmers markets and bulk places. So I'm a bit distracted. This beautiful doggy, hello. Come here.
He really doesn't like us.
Doesn't like us. Not interested. Anyway, still love you anyway. Just quick things like farmers markets. You go to a farmers market, and sometimes in some locations there will be some plastic, but a lot of times there's a lot less plastic than your typical supermarket. So going to bulk stores, or finding where the bulk stores are, and farmers
and it's
markets.
cheaper as well, right?
Yeah, you can look into some places. It all depends, but normally I would either work out around the same, or farmer markets can be cheaper. So, however, if you actually look into it and be like, I want to save the world, and you realize that, let's say it even costed a couple of cents more or pence more, it's worth it to save the world a little bit, right? But don't worry, I don't think you're going to get that point where it's costing a lot more, And you're looking into veganism and things like this. When you look at the tofus and all these things that are wrapped in plastic, you don't necessarily need to be buying them. You can just get, completely organic foods from the farmers markets without creating plastic anyway. It's very rare that I would buy seitan or tofu. In fact, I don't at all. Just to avoid the plastic, it's unnecessary. I can do alternatives. So, kind of off track there. But the point is farmers markets are a really great way. You can go and buy it in bulk, and you've got it. And you don't need such plastic. Plastic being one of the numerous amounts of waste that we create, but plastic being one of the most toxic and problematic ones currently we're facing. Yeah.
So you mentioned veganism, and do you think that by being vegan you can help, to this problem in some kind of way?
Yeah. So they are just like they're a joint end. It's like, once you join zero waste or low impact to veganism, and vice versa, it's almost, once you're conscious about both of them, it's very hard to not be able to do both of them, because they're both making the environment a better place and saving animals and humanity. So one reason, now there's a big debate, can you be a non-vegan environmentalist, and can you be a vegan that's not zero waste? Now, my answer to that is, we're on a journey. And if you want to be perfect, no, you can't. no, you can't have that phone, you can't do anything, right? You can't exist, because that's the world we're living in, and we've got to look at it as the journey and understand where we are in this journey. So yes, you can be both of them. We're all, I'm a vegan and a low impactor, but I still create trash, and maybe I find a product once in a while that I accidentally consume that isn't vegan or whatever. This is the journey we're on. We do our best that's practically possible for us in our lives that we're living. So yeah. Did I answer the question?
Yeah, you did.
Cool.
So have you been vegan, or like, since when are you vegan, and was it part of, I mean, it's part of the journey that you mentioned, but was it the reason, or what was the reason why you became vegan?
So I became vegan in January 2018. So we're looking like 8 or 9 months ago. And I think it was like, it was a strange one. It wasn't like one thing that ticked it off. I think it was just a group of experiences that all came together. It was me going dumpster diving with a friend who was never eating any meat or cheeses or anything. And I was like, wow, that's cool what you're doing, because I love budget traveling. And you're not consuming animals, and you're a cool person. He was a cool guy. Wasn't eating any meat or anything, and living well and healthy. And then I guess that and a few other things, I saw some maybe documentaries and Instagram things, and I guess all of the experience came together. And when I really looked into it, I was like, wake up, Dan.
It was like a click, right?
Yeah, it was just like, Dan, okay, you've seen it now, you can't go back. It's like waking up to the kind of lies and stuff, and seeing the truth.
A lot of vegans say that it's like it's a wake up call. It's like the light bulb that lights up.
Yeah. Absolutely. You wake up and you realize what's going on. You realize that animal agriculture, no matter how they're raising animals, is all part of this one big industry, and all of the food's ending up in the same location, the same slaughterhouses, and all of these things. And once you realize all of that, it takes time. You've got to study it. And just because you realize it right now doesn't mean you should just be automatic go vegan. It's a journey. Don't be perfect. Just do you, and slowly enjoy the journey and enjoy that process of becoming vegan or low waste and, a robot or whatever you want to be. I had to add that in there.
All right. Anything else you would like to tell us?
No. I think for anyone watching, I think it's really important that if you want to be vegan, or you're transitioning from vegetarian to veganism, or you want to reduce your impact on the world, first is have that realization that of how you're connected to it, and that you are connected to the animals are connected to the nature is the universe, and
it's all connected.
Everything's connected, and that if it takes you 6 months or 2 weeks or 3 years to do this and make that transition, it's okay. There is no time length. Like, this universe is billions and billions and billions and billions of years and eternities and all that. So do it at your pace, and it's not a rush. If you rush it, you'll probably fail, or you'll miss something and you'll skip a step, and it doesn't need to be done by 2 weeks. It doesn't matter how long it takes. Just start to do it. Once you're conscious about it, start realizing how the most important things to you, the most practical things to you in your life, and slowly make that transition. Low impact, zero waste, and veganism, it's the way forward.
I agree. All right, cool. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me
on my channel. And if you would like to see more of Dan, I'm gonna link the video that we did together on his channel down below. And yeah, if you have any questions, like, I think everyone can always write to you, right?
Absolutely.
Through your Instagram. I'm also gonna link it down below, and your YouTube channel, and do you have Facebook?
Instagram and YouTube's cool for now.
Okay.
I think.
All right. Well, that's it.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you.
Love you all.
Thank you, guys. See you. Bye.